I just felt at home just because I'm on the path of riding my destiny. And when you're really close to God and on the path of your destiny, you just feel everything so much more, and you just know what's going to happen ahead of time.
Here's the thing. When Jake Paul started talking about going easy during the fight and saying it was rigged, he probably didn't think about the fine print, like a possible NDA, non-disclosure agreement. If that contract exists, Jake might have just gotten himself into big legal trouble. Rumors say Tyson's legal team isn't taking this lightly. People are looking into whether Jake's careless comments about the fight being scripted cross a legal line. This isn't just about hurt feelings, it's about protecting a brand Tyson spent decades rebuilding after scandals and financial problems. Jake's careless words could be seen as a serious accusation. Millions watched the fight live, and the stakes are high. A big lawsuit could be a career-ending blow for Jake Paul. Boxing is tough, but court battles hit even harder and last longer, with interest. If Tyson's team sues, Jake could face huge fines, damage to his reputation, and even bans from future fights. Forget about rematches, Jake might end up fighting Tyson's lawyers in court instead of in the ring. The Tyson vs Paul fight wasn't just about age against youth, it was legacy versus viral fame. Tyson's name is part of boxing history, while Jake Paul's is more about TikTok views. But here's the catch, fights like this are blurring the line between real boxing and entertainment, faster than Jake Paul's credibility after his latest podcast run. So after all the punches, trash talk, and wild claims, where does that leave Jake Paul and Mike Tyson? And the biggest question still remains, was the fight real, rigged, or some mix of both? Was it a true battle, or a cleverly planned show to make millions and keep fans guessing?
I'll just be real bummed out to see Mike get KO'd
Right,
at 58 years
at
old.
60, basically.
Like, what other sport would we let a 58-year-old man compete other than golf?
Right.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, why are we letting this happen?
It's kind of crazy.
But Tyson wasn't done yet. After weeks of people saying the fight was fixed and seeing that wild fight script go viral, he finally spoke up. In a fiery interview with Fox Sports Radio, Tyson blasted the rigging rumors that had been following the fight from the start. He said it was a real fight, almost growling, daring anyone to say otherwise. Tyson didn't just defend the fight's honesty, he went straight at Jake Paul. "I don't need anyone's money," Tyson said. Paul's claim that Tyson needed the money was bold, and it hit a nerve. After spending decades rebuilding his life and career, being called a charity case was more than insulting.
So Mike Tyson is getting back in the ring. He's 58 years old. He's facing off against YouTuber turned boxer 27-year-old Jake Paul.
Jake Paul's behavior after the fight wasn't just crazy. It was like watching someone ruin their own reputation, but with a megaphone. Right after his controversial win over Mike Tyson in November 2024, Paul jumped on his podcast and started dropping shocking statements like they were paid advertisements.
We want to, but our opponents don't actually really want to. So it's funny.
And surprisingly, the fight went exactly like the leaked script said it would. Tyson looked slower than old-school dial-up internet, ended up with a cut above his eye, and Jake kept landing punches. By the end, fans weren't sure if they'd just watched a real fight or paid for a high-budget WWE episode, just with better lighting and a slightly more believable storyline. Honestly, it felt like a bunch of pro wrestling writers accidentally planned a boxing match, and weirdly, that was the most believable part of the whole thing. And what did Tyson do? Nothing, at least, not at first. No angry response, no public outburst. He stayed unusually quiet, like he was waiting for things to calm down, or trying to figure out who spilled the secrets.
Well, X has spoken. The fight was scripted. Everyone is talking about this on X, and the script was actually leaked on X a few days ago.
Tyson, being the experienced pro, starts off strong with his usual bow and weave. Jake, of course, plays the underdog who somehow keeps going, like he's the main character in a feel-good sports movie. Then, just when you think it couldn't get more predictable, boom, round 5 hits, and Tyson goes down from a perfectly timed right hook, exactly like the script said he would. Who would have
The
thought?
number, are we talking 60, 70 million?
I mean, if I were to cash out, yeah, I probably made like an extra like 60 on top of that just from my investments last year. If I were to liquidate it.
And just when you thought things couldn't get any more ridiculous, boom, the infamous fight script shows up. It was a detailed, round-by-round plan of how the whole event was supposed to happen.
Opening bell rings, Tyson is showing flashes of his old form, which actually happened. As soon as the bell went, Mike Tyson came out with that head movement, pushing forward. Immediately he stalks forward with his signature bob and wave style.
Jake Paul, who somehow managed to convince a huge online following that he's a real boxer, stepped into the ring like he was trying out for a part in Fight Club. And here's where things got interesting. As the fight got closer, fans started wondering what no one really wanted to say out loud. Is this a real boxing match, or just a pay-per-view comedy show with some bruises thrown in? Let's be honest. There was no way this was going to be a serious fight.
No, I tried to give the fight the best fight I possibly could, but when someone's just surviving in the ring, basically, it's hard to make it exciting.
Even though Tyson had some serious health problems earlier this year, he still agreed to the fight. Maybe he thought it would be an easy way to make money, just knock out a kid who's mostly known for doing silly stuff on YouTube.
I don't look at my life as a legacy. Legacy to me means ego. Who the cares about my legacy? I'm gonna be dead soon.
And let's not forget the real question here. What made a 58-year-old man, whose body has taken more hits than a used car, think, yep, let's get in the ring, with a guy who probably thinks a right hook is just a TikTok trend? Seriously, this whole thing felt like a slow-motion train wreck, and yet, none of us could look away. Where do we even start with the wild event that was Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul? Yeah, that's totally normal, right? The craziest part? It actually worked. We watched it, we talked about it, we posted about it, and yes, we even paid for it. Welcome to the circus, everyone.
This fight is not gonna change my lifestyle financially. I'm a fighter. I feel good. I can do it. I feel I can beat this guy.
Mike Tyson just completely embarrassed Jake Paul after the post-fight press conference. Honestly, it wasn't even a fair match. Jake Paul, full of confidence and boxing wisdom, claimed that Mike Tyson only took the fight because he needed money, right? Because the man who created a multi-million-dollar cannabis business must be desperate for a paycheck from a YouTuber known for pranks. Great thinking, Jake. Jake Paul's behavior after the fight wasn't just crazy, it was like watching someone ruin their own reputation, but with a megaphone. Right after his controversial win over Mike Tyson in November 2024, Paul jumped on his podcast and started dropping shocking statements like they were paid advertisements.